Hey, do you, Thomas? All right, cool. Thank you. First one's gonna be Randy Bishop, so you can put Eagleton on the bench. All right, thank you. Bye. Morning. Just waiting on them to. No, you're gonna be here. I just gotta yeah. When they pop up, I gotta announce who I am and. Who are you? Huh? Who are you? Lieutenant Carson. Yeah.
Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is in panel headquarters in Baton Rouge. Today's date is August 25th, 26. Today, we want to, first of all, ask our staff to introduce themselves for the record.
Sure, Carla Williams.
Francis Abbott.
And our first case, two cases will be held at St. Tammany Parish Jail. May I ask the staff to introduce yourself there?
Lieutenant Todd Carson.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much. We'll be hearing Mr. Bishop first.
Yes, ma'am. All right, bud. Here you go. Come sit down. Bishop. Come sit down right here for me, please. One.
Good morning, Mr. Bishop. Today on the panel, to be hearing your case, to my left is Carolyn Stapleton, to the right is Mr. Danny Barra. I'm Jerry Ledoux. Would you introduce yourself formally for the record with your name and your DOC number?
My name is Randy Bishop, and I don't know my number.
Okay. Let's see.
Is
Do you have a piece of paper, that questionnaire in front of you?
this it?
Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay, my name is Randy Bishop. My CD number is 766970.
Mr. Bishop, you recognize your signature on that piece of paper?
Yeah,
Okay, the answers to those questions indicate that you are not eligible for appointed counsel, and I see no registered retained counsel. So we will begin. I am going to be asking you some questions, and reading out some allegations about your criminal conduct or alleged criminal conduct while on supervision. And I need you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay, great. You're alleged for violating rule number 4. The parolee was arrested September 25th, 2025 by the St. Tammany Sheriff's Office and booked into the St. Tammany Parish Jail for disarming a police officer, resisting an officer, possession of Schedule 2 counts, and possession of drug paraphernalia. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
My records indicate that you will go to court 9/14/26 on those charges. Is that correct?
Excuse me. Say that again.
My record shows that you will be going to court on September 14th, this next month, for those charges.
Yeah, I was scheduled today, actually. And they canceled it. But September 14th is supposed to be a trial date, yes, but I had a pre-trial date today. But for some reason they brought me back.
Okay. I see also there's a violation of rule number 6 in which that you failed to provide proof of employment to your probation officer. parole officer. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
So were you employed?
I was with a moving company, and I text her I had text her the business card of that employer. I just got the job with the guy. And at the moment at that time, she texted back and said, I'm not interested in your employment right now, or the business card. I'm more interested in where you are. Those
And
are
you-
that's her text back.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that might be linked to number 10 because you are in arrears $1,508 in your supervision fee.
Uh-huh. Yes,
So you had
I-
a job, you just weren't.
and I am guilty of that.
Yeah, so you had a job, but you weren't paying.
I just got that job. That's why I just told you that story. I just sent her a copy of his business card and I let her know that I just got employed by a guy, and he was at a moving company. And I had just done that. That's what I was saying. But no, I hadn't been employed up until that point. And so that's why my fees were behind. They were.
Yeah, you were paroled in 2023.
Correct, January 6th.
And so you never had employment during that time?
I did, but I was let go. And also I was a little homeless out here. I'm from California, and so with parole in Louisiana, my out of state compact was denied, and I was working on the second one, but that's why I was checking in. I had to check in like once every 2 months or once a month, because of that. I was just really in transit. And the place I was out of, the people moved, so I was.
Once you explain to me the charges that are against you, that's some pretty serious charges when it comes to your conduct with law enforcement officers.
Say again, I'm sorry.
Tell me what happened, because those are serious charges with your conduct against law enforcement.
Yes, these are serious charges here. I was visiting a friend, and his door got kicked in by a SWAT team. I had company. Well, I had a friend over, and when they kicked in the door, the SWAT team came through in the windows, running down the hallways. They had rifles pointed at me. I gave them my hands. Hands were up. I was punched in the face by a police officer. I kept my hands up. I got on the ground because he had told me to put my fucking hands down, but I kept them up because I didn't want to be shot. 6 rifles pointed at me. I got on the ground. I got on the ground on my knees first. As soon as my palms touched the ground, he kicked me in my face, stumped on the back of my head, and put cuffs on me. He take me outside of the home, along with 2 other people in the home. There was another guy in the home I did not know. Like I said, I was visiting. He was also on probation or parole. I did not know also, but after that, I was out in the front lawn. They were searching the home. There was the girl that was there with me. She admitted right there on the scene that she had possessed a bag of amphetamines that like I did not know of. She stated it there. She also stated it here in the police report. Also, she stated that. So like I said, and then later on, the cop was I guess they were looking through the home. I don't know if they guess they didn't find what they were looking for. I think they just figured like, well, we just punched him in the face, kicked him in the face. We better say that he went for our gun. And I think they just straight out lied. They just lied. And I have a police report also here with me with the SWAT team, what they said in the narcotics division. I have 2 different reports with 2 different incidents from 2 different agencies about the same incident, but 2 different reports.
Okay, well, that's not going to be able to take up in a court of law because,
Exactly, because
Yeah.
that's why I'm pleading not guilty, because there's an agent that says, the SWAT team that says that when I was ordered to show my hands, I complied. In the narcotics division, the ones who are lying says when I was ordered to show my hands, I did not. And also they said that I did not comply. I also initiated advancing towards grabbing the muzzle of a gun, wrestling the muzzle of a gun from an officer. Like, come on, I'm gonna risk my life for what? With 6 rifles pointed at me, and plus I would have been shot. I mean, I wouldn't be here talking to you if that was the case. I think they, like I said, they just covering their butt, and they just that's a blatant lies. I would have been shot and killed.
we have a police report in front of us, and
Uh-huh.
you know, we are going to take, or at least I am going to take that police report as solid evidence of what happened. And you
But
can
there's
gather up in the court of law. Mr. Bishop, you're a 5th felony offender, and I think you know the consequences of being in the situation you were in. You were in a place that was targeted for a SWAT team. You knew you were around people that were dealing in drugs, in my opinion. And so, do my colleagues have any other questions?
No.
I mean, Mr. Bishop, you'll, in my opinion, and by the preponderance of evidence in this file, you have violated the conditions of your parole, and my vote will be to revoke you. Mr. Barra,
I concur with Ms. Ledoux with continued criminal behavior while on parole.
and Ms. Stapleton.
I concur with both my colleagues, continued criminal behavior while on board.
So today, based on a unanimous vote, you've been revoked. Thank you, Mr. Bishop.
thank you too. You guys have a good day.
Right over here, and I'll get the other guy.
Good morning, sir. We are still at St. Tammany, and today on the panel, to my left is Ms. Stapleton, to my right is Mr. Barra. I'm Ms. Ledoux. Could you introduce yourself with your name and your DOC number?
434-384 Corey Eagleton.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Eagleton, you're before this panel today with alleged violations of conditions of your parole. And we are going to be asking you some questions and have you enter a plea. But first, I want to make sure that you have a parole questionnaire in front of you, that you recognize your signature.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the answers to that questionnaire indicate that you are not eligible for appointed counsel. Have you hired an attorney? I don't see an attorney on record.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some rule violations to you, and you're going to plead guilty, guilty with the statement, or not guilty. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, rule number 2. You failed to report in as ordered on February 2021. Let me say February 1st, 2021 and February 16th, 2021, March 10th, 2021, March 31st, 2021, and you failed to return phone calls January, February, March, and in August. How do you plead to those allegations?
Not guilty, ma'am, because my parole officer that I was assigned to in New Orleans, well, the last guy I can remember told me that he used to come see me on my job by the Superdome. And so he's telling me I don't have to come to his office. He comes see me, and he usually just pops up on my job. But all of a sudden, I ain't see him. He just never come see me no more by my job. So I always asked him, could I come to him? He always told me, don't come to his office. He always come see me. But he usually just pops up to my job and say, hey, can you step out for a minute? I'm in Hall H at the Superdome. But like I say, all of a sudden he just stopped. He stopped coming see me, and I just stayed working. I just stayed working for the last couple of years, without no trouble or anything. And like I said, I'm at the same address by my sister house, 1616 Lancaster, Monroe, Louisiana. So I don't see what the problem was. Why you say I didn't? And with the situation with my cell phone, maybe I changed the phone and I didn't, realize I lost the phone. Because I remember changing my number. I lost the cell phone on the job a couple of years ago. But other than that, he usually come see me. He never told me come to his office. He told me come see him.
Okay. Mr. Eagleton, are you a 4th felony offender?
I think so, ma'am.
So that means you've been on supervision before?
Not parole, just probation. This will be my first time on parole.
Okay. Let me read the next allegation. So you pled not guilty to that. Number 3, you failed to get permission from your parole officer before making a change in your address. The probation and parole officer sent mail to you, and it was returned to sender, not deliverable as addressed, unable to forward, showing that you no longer lived at that address.
Well, what address that was? Because I lived at 1616 Lancaster, and what it was, I lost my certificate for New Orleans, and it shipped me back to I want to say Jefferson Parish. So that's probably why I had a mix up of forward mail, because my voucher was returned back and I had to get back on the waiting list. So I was returned back to my sister at 1616 Lancaster, Monroe, Louisiana. So I never did change addresses because my voucher didn't go through. My certificate didn't go through.
So I have a residential address of 1201 Bienville Street, New Orleans.
Yes, that's the voucher that I was waiting on the waiting list to, and they didn't go through. So what I did is I had to go back to my sister's till my voucher cleared. I moved to Monroe, Louisiana.
Did you communicate all that to your officer?
Ma'am?
Did you tell your officer all of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Number 9, because they did not know where you were, you made yourself unavailable for visits from 1/22/21 until the day of your arrest, May 13th, 2026. They didn't know where you were.
Well, they usually come see me at my job. My boss man could vouch for that. They usually come pop up at my job. He told me the last time
That's not their responsibility. You were supposed to be checking in with them. That's the rules. That's the conditions you signed. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have made no payments towards your supervision fees, and you owe $5,607 on your supervision fees. Okay, so how did you plead to number 9, that you failed to make yourself available?
I want to know right now. Cause that's kind of awkward to me. If he tell me one thing that he'll come see me on the job, like he usually been doing, and all of a sudden he stopped coming to see me, and then put a hold on me for not coming to see me. Then he said somebody hung up on him on the cell phone.
And your contract was not with that agent. Your contract is with the state of Louisiana. And so your behavior, you're being evaluated based on how you kept the contract with the state of Louisiana Department of Correction,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
that particular agent.
Okay. So
Okay.
how you think I should plead you that?
Well, did you see anybody from 2021 till you were detained in May of this year? Did you ever see a probation and parole officer?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I think that answers the question. And on your fees, how do you plead on your fees?
On my fees, they told me that by me getting disability every month, 'cause I get disability every month. I don't know how that went. They just told me that I didn't have to pay any fees because by me getting my disability, but I don't know how that went.
Job and you had disability?
Ma'am,
You had a full-time job and disability?
well, I work part-time, yes, ma'am. I pick up trash, cut yards on the side.
So at the Superdome, you didn't get a paycheck?
No, it was paying me like community service, like picking up trash and stuff with privacy agent with I think it's FADE on
Do you have proof that you did that voluntarily?
well, I won't have it here. You could call my boss, he'd probably have all the paperwork.
Okay, so even though you're a 4th felony offender, this is your first time on supervision?
Yes, ma'am. A parole?
Yes. You didn't find it was a little odd that much time passed and you never heard from a parole officer?
Well, to
Are
be
you-
honest,
All right, I don't have to see anybody.
no, it's not like that. Just that,
Oh,
I stayed out of trouble, like he said. I stayed out of trouble, no charges or things. I stayed working on the same place where I was at, doing what I had to do. And like I said, he been to come and see me. He told me, don't come to his office, sir. He'll come see me. He been popping up on me, seeing me, he'll call me, tell me to step out, out the place. He'd be in the parking lot when I get there. And like I said, all of a sudden, he just stopped coming see. He just stopped calling up. So I just continued doing what I was doing. I stayed
What was-
working to get into no trouble.
That parole officer's name?
I couldn't tell you, sir. I couldn't remember, sir. I think he was a tall white guy, but I couldn't remember.
Oh,
You ever thought maybe he didn't work at probation and parole anymore? Maybe you should call?
I didn't know that, sir. I'm just finding out that the guy retired.
Well, okay, that's my point.
Oh, you got out in 2018. And maybe it was Larry Bourgeois. I mean, you've had several agents. Roderick Spotville. You had a drug charge in 2019.
How many days a week were you working at the Superdome?
2 days.
Same
Mondays
day,
and Thur-
same days every week?
Mondays and Thursdays, and they'll call me if they need me. If they have like an event, they'll call me if they need me.
And you worked for that whole time from 2021 until you got arrested? You were still working?
Yep. I'm still over there right now. Same guy,
What's your boss's name over there?
Tony Landry,
What's his phone number?
504-484-1636.
And you saying that was a volunteer job? You never got paid?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, he buy me lunch sometime. He take me out to dinner, take me to lunch sometime, give me a little tip sometime. But like I said, I just do yards, keep his yards up for around the dome, his facilities and stuff like that.
So you did have two problems with a little bit of drugs back in 2018 and then 23, didn't you? Had some
What's that?
charge.
What's that, ma'am?
Let's see. So it says in 2018, 2019, you had possession of cocaine. You were arrested 7/1/2019 for possession of cocaine and alprazolam.
Oh,
And-
yes, I remember that. I was at the bus stop in New Orleans, I was going somewhere. And I think they dropped them charges on me because I went to court and the judge seen on the street camera. It was a big investigation. The judge seen on the camera. That's why they dropped the charges, because the guy dropped drugs in front of me, and I didn't have no knowledge of it. And had pills in the bag and all kind of drugs in the bag. But so they had to go back on the footage of the camera of the street. It was a big investigation, and that's why they dropped the charge again, because they seen where the guy threw that around my area at the bus stop. So I do remember that, ma'am. You're absolutely right. That's why they dropped it, because they seen it on the street camera where the guy dropped it around, around in my area, and how I was sitting at the bus stop. So you're absolutely right. I remember that.
You were on supervision in 2005. Any questions, Ms. Stapleton?
No, I don't have any.
Executive session. Yeah, I'll make a motion for executive session.
Second.
So Mr. Barbaras made a motion, Stapleton second. Seeing no opposition, we're going to go into executive session for a minute.
Yes, let me borrow your phone.
Mr. Eagleton.
Ma'am,
You know, I reviewed your, the notes that the probation and parole agent put in. And one thing I will note is that you had several different agents, at 21, up until 21. So you had several people who you were supposed to be reporting to, okay?
I have no knowledge of that, ma'am.
I know you don't, I know. So listen, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and vote. My vote is to not revoke you, to let you continue on supervision. And you're gonna have to report to your agent once a month
Yes, ma'am.
in person.
Yes, ma'am.
You go there.
Do you
And
need me
you
to put
have-
do you need me to put a monitor on, ma'am?
Nope, I'm not gonna put a monitor on you.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
gonna make you go to the parole officer every month. And you're gonna call him 2 weeks after you go see him, you make a phone call. You're
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
check in with him. That's your responsibility.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm
Okay?
gonna take a picture this time when I go.
Okay, needs to be your new best friend. So my vote today is not to, and I'm gonna put you on a curfew. You're gonna be staying home from 11 at night to 6 in the morning,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
Yes, ma'am. You got my word.
Okay, Mr. Vaughn.
All right, I talked to Mr. Landry during the executive session. He
Yes,
said he's
sir.
gonna take you back. He said you're a good worker. He came
Yes,
to your rescue. And he also said he's gonna give you a ride to the parole officer every month.
I appreciate it.
No matter what the parole officer tells you, you need to go
I
every
will,
month.
sir. I will, sir.
Now we're putting it as a condition that you report every month.
I
Whether
will.
he tells you you don't have to come for 3 months, no, you still need to go every month.
I will, sir.
And I'm gonna go ahead and give you another break, and I'm gonna reduce your fees to $5 a month. And so you only have to go in with a $5 money order.
Yes,
Or
sir.
make a $5 payment online. But that's gonna be to keep you in line to remember, $5 a month probation officer, and then you'll be up with your fees. We want you to be all good.
I got
And
you,
that's
sir.
why I'm reducing it to make it easy for you to be all good.
Can you give me the address where the place at?
I don't have it with me right now, but you'll get it before you release.
I appreciate it.
It's right by the Superdome.
Oh, okay. Padres?
Yeah.
In the Hyatt building.
In the Hyatt building.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Dickman, last vote.
I agree with both of my colleagues. Their conditions, are well thought out as far as I'm concerned. So, I concur with my colleagues.
Okay, so you have, your conditions.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am. You got my word, ma'am.
You're reinstated on parole. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Concludes our business with St. Tammany. Thank you, Lieutenant, for
God
your.
bless you guys.
There
You
you go,
ready?
brother. Yeah, I'll bring y'all back.
So you got my paperwork.
The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge. Our remote site right now is Rapides Parish Detention Center. Are there any staff members in the room? If there are, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am, Sergeant Steiner.
I'm sorry, spell the last name.
STEINEL.
Okay, thank you, Sergeant Stone. The panel today consists of Ms. Carolyn Stapleton to my left, Danny Barra to my right, and I'm Ms. Ledoux. Sir, would you introduce yourself with your DOC number and for the panel?
770-1513.
And your name?
Frazier.
Mr. Frazier, you're before this panel today with parole violation allegations. Do you have you have a an appointed, a retained counsel, Ms. Tiffany Sanders, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Sanders, thank you and welcome to the panel. You are permitted to assist your client as you see fit throughout the proceedings. We will need for him to enter the plea. You can give him counsel, but he will need to enter a plea. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Barra and allow him to read out the rule violations.
All right, it is alleged that you have violated the condition of your parole in the following manner. Number 2, you have failed to report to your supervising officer since March 28th of 2024. How do you plead to that violation?
Not guilty.
Condition number 3, that you move from the appropriate address without permission or from your notifying your supervising officer, leaving your whereabouts unknown. How do you plead to that one?
Not guilty.
You committed the crime of possession of a firearm by convicted felon at the time of your arrest by the Alexandria Police Department on April 22nd, 2024. How do you plead to that one?
Not guilty.
In that you were in possession of a firearm as evidence during your arrest of April 22nd, 2024 for the crime of possession of firearm by a felon. How do you plead to that one?
Not guilty.
In that you failed to provide any proof of employment or an occupation to your supervising officer since being placed on supervision. How do you plead to that one?
Guilty.
All right, well, let's go back and talk about number 2. The officer says he didn't see you since 2024. Do you have any kind of proof or documentation or anything that would lead us to believe that that's not correct?
I put in a request to move from Alexandria to Lafayette.
Mm-hmm. And
I just never was assigned a probation officer in Lafayette.
So what, were you still reporting in Alexandria or were you reporting in Lafayette?
I was in Lafayette.
You were reporting over there to the officer?
No, sir.
Why not?
I was waiting to be assigned to an officer.
Well, every transfer gets over to, they tell you, you gotta go to the office and meet the officer before they assign you an officer. It's called pretty much the intake. Did you go to that first meeting?
No, sir.
That's probably where the problem is right there.
Was it ever approved? Did you ever have an approved transfer?
Yes, ma'am. I think it was approved. They came to the house, but when they came, I wasn't there.
Probably wasn't approved.
But it wasn't approved. All right. I'll see where that one went wrong. Number 3, that you move from your approved address without notifying your officer. Tell me about that one. It looks like that what that's related to is the officer saying you left from Alexandria before you had something approved over there and didn't report to nobody. Same thing as number 2, the same issue. What can you tell me about that one?
Pretty much the same thing. I was just waiting to be assigned to an officer.
All right. Condition number 4, that you committed the crime of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I see the charge was dismissed on 6/6/24, but according to the information presented at the preliminary hearing, the firearms were found in your vehicle and came back to be stolen. What can you tell us about why were the firearms in your vehicle?
I gave somebody a ride, and when we got pulled over, they put him under the passenger seat. But he owned up to the firearms. They just still charged me with them because I was the driver of the vehicle.
You realize that possession can be having them in your car? It doesn't matter who they belong to when you're on parole. Just
Yes.
being in the same car with the guns, kind of like being in the same car with a bale of dope. You know, if it's in your car, you got a problem. That's what the problem is. The guns are in
Give
your
somebody a
car.
ride. I had no knowledge of knowing what they had on them.
Well, you learn anything from that?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what it is you learned from that?
Don't give anybody a ride. Just
You don't know what they're carrying on them.
without knowing what they have on them. Yes, sir.
Guys probably still walking around on the streets right now and look where you at.
Yes, sir.
You gotta be aware of who you're giving a ride to and what they bringing in your car. Your freedom's on the line, not theirs. All right, so you basically, for that one, you're saying you just didn't know that he had the gun.
Yes, sir.
When did you find out?
When the police found him.
Right. So the next one says that you were in possession of a firearm at that time, so the same answer is for that one. Did you fail to provide proof of employment or an occupation to your supervising officer since being placed on supervision? Were you working?
Yes, sir.
Where were you working?
At Rainbow in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Rainbow, what, vacuum cleaners or Rainbow, what is it?
It's like a clothing store.
Clothing store,
Yes, sir.
Lafayette? And what were your hours there? How long have you been working there and what were your hours?
Probably 6 months, and from the morning to from 9 to 3, 9 to 4.
What do you think? What do you think we should do with you?
Give me another chance.
Why?
I haven't been getting in any trouble. I've been,
Well, your definition of trouble and mine's two different definitions.
I moved to Lafayette.
Something better than that.
I moved to Lafayette to change my surroundings and to change my way of living.
Okay, but you never followed through with the transfer, so it never happened. That's why we're here today. That's the main part of this.
Yes, sir.
All right, so basically, you're saying that if you could move to Lafayette, that would change your environment, it would change everything, and you'd be better off over there?
Yes, sir.
Where are you planning on living?
I have an apartment with my wife, and I'm a full-time father. I got custody of my kids.
In Lafayette?
Yes, sir.
All right, does anybody else have any questions?
You know, Mr. Frazier, as a third-class offender, you're aware that you have to check in.
Yes,
That you
ma'am.
have- So you just disregarded the law.
I don't have any more questions. If you or your attorney wants to say anything before we vote, now would be the time to get the last words out.
Yes, sir. Good morning again, members of the committee. Again, Tiffany Sanders on behalf of Carl Frazier. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I would ask the committee to consider these allegations that you have separately because they're not all of the same nature of seriousness. First, I want to address the firearm allegation. The evidence contained in the preliminary report raises substantial questions as to whether or not Mr. Frazier possessed or controlled those firearms. The firearms were reportedly discovered underneath the passenger seat, and the report reflects that the passenger stated that the vehicle was pulled over and Robert Smith was sitting in the front passenger seat, reached into the glove box, removed items, and placed them underneath his seat. Most importantly, Robert Smith subsequently told Officer Perkins that the firearms were his. Mr. Frazier denied knowing that the firearms were in the vehicle. The record further shows that on June 6, 2024, the charges were dismissed. I recognize that the dismissal of the charges does not itself determine the issue before this committee. However, when the dismissal is considered together with the location of the firearm, the witness's accounts that he placed it, it was underneath his seat, and his admission that it belonged to him, and my client's denial of knowledge, we respectfully will submit that the evidence that is not established that Mr. Frazier knowingly possessed or controlled those firearms. As to the reporting and residence violation, and I know this is a very serious allegation before the committee, and I'm not asking the committee to disregard his Mr. Frazier's failures. According to the hearing and recommendation document, and Agent Ryan own testimony reflects that Mr. Frazier did in fact report on March 28, 2024. And at that time, Mr. Frazier informed him that he wanted to relocate to 203 Mike Street in Carencro. According to Agent Frazier and according to my client, he did say that he was instructed to report to the Lafayette district so that the request could be processed. Mr. Frazier subsequently failed to do that and maintain the contact report of him. And we recognize the seriousness of that failure. However, there is an explanation in the record concerning the residence. Mr. Frazier explained that at the preliminary hearing that the 203 Mike Street address was his mother-in-law's residence where he lived with his wife and his children that he told you he had custody of, and that her lease had expired and that she was required to find another location. That does not, of course, excuse Mr. Frazier's failure to immediately notify his supervising officer. And he definitely should have done so. I'm just asking the committee to consider the circumstances that he did, in fact, tell him where he wanted to move. He just didn't follow through with the process and the procedure. And I just want the committee to determine the appropriate disposition rather than viewing the resident's change in isolation, saying that he just failed to report, didn't tell anybody. And the fact that he did tell him, he just didn't follow through, and subsequently continued not to follow through, unfortunately. Regarding his employment, the allegation is that Mr. Frazier failed to provide proof of employment to supervision. He did state during his preliminary hearing that he had been employed at Popeyes and Walmart and Rainbow in Lafayette. Again, if this committee restores him to supervision, he certainly, of course, will provide employment verification immediately. My client does understand that he failed in important respects to comply with the requirements of division. We are not asking you all to excuse those failures. We're just asking the committee to distinguish the failures from the disputed firearm allegations and to determine basically whether full revocation and continued incarceration are necessary. If this committee determines that the sanctions are warranted for the violations, we respectfully ask that he be restored to supervision, subject to whatever additional structure and conditions the committee believes appropriate. If he's required to report to the office within 24 hours, I would make sure and that he complies with that. Mr. Frazier should be held accountable for the supervision failures. There's no doubt about that. And but we respectfully submit that accountability does not necessarily require full revocation. We're asking that he be given an opportunity to demonstrate compliance under strict supervision rather than having his parole fully revoked. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to address you all.
Thank you. All right, we're ready to vote? All right, case assigned to me, I'm gonna vote first. I'm looking at your case, you're a third offender, asking for another second chance, or third chance, or whatever chance you're on. This is gonna be your last one. I'm gonna go with you this time, but don't come back asking for any more chances.
Yes, sir.
It's time for you to grow up and follow the law. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna vote to not revoke your probation or parole and order you into a transitional work program for 6 months, work release for 6 months. In lieu of revocation. And that during that time, when you're in work release, you make contact with your Alexandria PO and your Lafayette PO, and you get this transfer straightened out. You can do that from work release while you're there. Get all of that paperwork done, get it all straightened out, and that you follow up with it. Don't just get out within 24 hours of your release, like your attorney agreed to. 24 hours of your release, you're gonna go report to the parole officer and tell them where you're at. You're gonna also be reporting to your parole officer while you're in work release. They're gonna be going over there and checking on you. So basically, it's just gonna set you up to be able to work a little bit, get all your paperwork right, have a little bit of a sanction for your bad behavior, but set you up to be free.
Yes, sir.
That's my vote. Still got 2 other people.
Ms. Stapleton.
I concur with Mr. Barra. I think what he said makes good sense, and it's a good road for you to travel to get straight. Because look, this business of not reporting, that was just you just didn't do it. You knew you're supposed to, and it's something had gone wrong. And if it had bothered you, you'd have been on top of it. You weren't. So I think Mr. Barra is giving you a good opportunity to get back right, and I'm going to concur with you.
Thank you.
My vote is also to, in lieu of revocation, to send you to a 6-month transitional work program, and I would like to specify in the Lafayette area. So hopefully it might be a job that you can continue after your release, and you have to have the appropriate supervision. pay at that time. So today, we have voted in lieu of revocation to send you to transitional work program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Sanders, you did a great job. Thank you. Did
Thank
have
you, ma'am.
something to say, Mr. Frazier?
I thank you for another chance, and I promise I'm gonna do right this time.
Thank you. Thank you all. All right, Mr. Frazier. We dodged that bullet.
Thank you.
Good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is here at headquarters in Baton Rouge. On my left is Ms. Stapleton. To my right is Mr. Barra. I'm Ms. Ledoux. Now I want you to introduce yourself with your name and your DOC number.
How y'all doing? My name is VAUGHN BOURDA, 563-008.
Okay, you're at the St. Martin Correctional Center. Is there anyone in the room with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a piece of paper in front of you that you see your signature on? That's called a parole revocation questionnaire.
No, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to put that on the screen for you to review. That's your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Bourda, the answers to that questionnaire indicate that you are not eligible for approved counsel, appointed counsel. Have you hired an attorney?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ms. Stapleton to read out some parole violations, and you're going to enter a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Okay.
Morning, sir. You're in violation of rule number 4. You failed to refrain from engaging in criminal activity when on or about 5/21/2026, you committed domestic abuse battery, simple assault. Subsequently, you were arrested by the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office on or about 5/21/2026 for domestic abuse battery, simple assault. Plead.
Not guilty.
Okay, and then number 10, you failed to submit monthly payments towards your supervision fees and are currently $716 in arrears. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about this charge. First, the victim. Have y'all been in contact with each other? Have you talked with her? Because you
Yes,
have.
ma'am. Yes,
You
ma'am.
call her from jail?
No, she got in contact with me through my sister. She
Oh,
was,
so her-
matter of fact, she was supposed to speak to y'all at this meeting.
Mhm. So she's been in contact with your sister, and your sister talks to
Yeah.
you,
Yes,
relays the messages.
yes.
Okay. Huh? Oh, y'all found her? Okay, she's here. She's gonna speak for you. Listen, let me tell you something. You're violating the law right there. Because according to this, the state requested a protective order, which was granted by the court and made effective through May 28th of 2028, protecting Lucretia Martin. The court set the bond at $2,500.
Which was dismissed in the Gwenslaw court.
That was dismissed.
The protective order and the charges was dismissed in Gwenslaw court 10 days after.
Okay. Well, we're gonna hear what Ms. Lucretia has to say. Now we're gonna do that. Is she on the phone now? Oh, she's coming.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Martin, what would you like to say?
Yes, I would like to say that he is not a violent person. All the charges was dropped. The restraining order, everything was dropped. I dropped the charges on him. He was supposed to come to court, but the parole officer never came. Like they told him that it was canceled, but it was not canceled. I went to court, dropped the charges on him. He's not a violent person. He just work and go home. We got into a little simple argument. That was it. I mean, he's not a violent person. He go to work, he go home. That's it.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. We've got pictures here where you were claiming that he did hurt you. And you let the police take pictures of you to prove it. What about that?
Yeah, that was, I mean, I was mad at the time. I mean, that's bruises from my own. I mean, he didn't physically, like, we didn't get in an altercation or anything. That me just being out of anger or whatever.
But that's what you said though.
Yes, ma'am.
It is into that y'all got into a fight and y'all were in a car and then fight continued and fell in a ditch. Tell me about that. And so the photos show the victim had injuries and marks, and that he was the main aggressor.
Ma'am.
The report has that he was the main aggressor in the incident, and that there's photos of which I do see, photos of your injuries and marks.
Yes, ma'am.
So there was a fight.
Yeah, we did it was an altercation, but I mean, it wasn't like, it was me hit him, he didn't physically like hit me or anything.
So how'd you get the marks on you? Why'd you at least take pictures to show that you had injuries?
I mean,
Injuries from it.
I mean, because I fell and stuff, I mean, it wasn't nothing physically from him.
If there wasn't nothing physical and there wasn't nothing, why did the police get involved? That'd be my question. Why would the police call out if nothing happened?
I can't really answer that question.
Who called the police? Somebody called, y'all were out in a ditch.
Yeah, I think somebody had called the police or something.
Why would they do that?
Maybe because of the noise and it was outside, like, by people's house probably.
Do y'all do this often?
Oh, no, ma'am. That was just one first time that ever happened. I never been known him for like that long. I just known him for like a year or two. And he's not a violent person.
Do you have any proof that these charges were dismissed? Because we got a report back.
Yes, I did an affidavit, and I went to court. I went to the courthouse in St. Martinville. They were supposed to have I faxed everything to the parole officer, and I tried to email y'all as well with the affidavit and the charges that was dropped in the court system.
The court system, the last thing they sent us says that this court date is September the 3rd.
So I got two.
No, I went to court. I went to the big court in St. Martinville, and the charges was dropped. I had an affidavit signed with the lady that I went to court with.
This is next court date is on September the 3rd, and it's for battery of a dating partner, first offense. So we got.
So the lady you talked to, was that Kathleen Terrio?
Yes, sir.
That's the executive session.
Okay.
We have a request and a second for executive session. Hearing no opposition, we're going to go into executive session to discuss confidential information. Mr. Borda.
Uh-oh.
Hello, Mr. Borda. Okay, thanks for returning, Mr. Borda. We weren't quite finished. We're back from executive session. And we were able to
Jeez.
talk to the DA's office, and your charges have not been dropped. You will be arraigned September 3rd. So, Ms. Stapleton is prepared to vote at this time.
Yes, sir. Based upon the fact that you have an arraignment for September the 3rd of 2026, I'm going to continue until that time. Secondly, we also found out that the protective order had not been dropped. So let me make this very clear to you. Third-party contact is illegal also. So you, your sister, and Miss Martin, no contact. She can't call you sister and talk to you, and you can't talk to your sister and get her to talk to Miss Martin. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
considered third-party contact. Let it stop right now because you are under a protective order till 2028. So my vote today is that this is continued until your court hearing on 9/3/2026, and that the protective order shall not be violated.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes, ma'am.
think same conditions.
My vote is also to continue based on a court date coming up and maintenance of your protective order. So that concludes our business with you today, Mr. Bourda, and our business there at St. Mark.
Again. Only again. Listen. What we gotta do? Click on it now. Oh, they can. Oh, it's on. They wait. They on you. Turn the light off in here? Yeah, the lights in here. Yeah, turn off the lights in here. I can't turn the lights off. I seen the lights go off. It sure did. Hello? Not as good as them. No, they have that police out right now. They right here. Wait. Click right there. Cause I had. Oh, sure. Okay, that's. Yeah. Man, this is crazy, bro. We don't.
Okay, good morning. The Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge. On the panel today, to my left is Mrs. Stapleton, to my right is Mr. Barra. I'm Ms. Ledoux. Would the staff there at Evangeline Parish Jail introduce yourselves?
Deputy Gillard.
I'm Gary Wilson,
And your DSC number?
464147.
Okay. Deputy Guillory, I want you to note and pass on to the sheriff that facility looks really nice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, you're before this panel today with some allegations that you violated conditions of parole. Do you have a questionnaire in front of you that you recognize your signature, a parole revocation questionnaire? I can tell you don't know. Okay, here, look on the screen. Do you recognize your signature there?
Yes, ma'am, I recognize my signature.
Okay. The answers to that questionnaire indicate that you're not eligible for appointed counsel, and I see no attorney of record, so we'll go ahead and continue. Ms. Stapleton is going to read out your allegations. You're going to enter a plea of guilty with a statement, or not guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
Stapleton?
Okay, Mr. Wilson, you have violated rule number 2. You failed to report to the parole officer as directed due to your absconding supervision on or about 4/17/2025. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. You're saying you didn't abscond, you didn't leave?
No, ma'am, I'm saying that we had paid for interstate compact. My parole was Miss Chantel, which was down the line she got fired for I guess from my knowledge from taking money from Evangeline Parish, from this same parish with the parole, dealing with the parole. We paid, my wife paid $250. I don't know if she on here or not, but she supposed to be on here. We paid $250, $250. When she came see me, I was staying by my father, which passed. It been 7 months since he been passed now. We gave her $250 for interstate compact. When the interstate, she okayed me to leave and go to Little Rock, which I'm married. My wife is down there. That's where my home is. And the first time the abscondence, I didn't even want to come in front of the board because I knew I was wrong. And I just want to say I'm sorry for even taking up y'all time, but I know in this situation I was right. I know for sure I'm right. And she gave me the okay to leave. And when I left and I went to probation and parole in Little Rock, Arkansas, which Y'all can call and they'll verify it. They told me twice that they didn't have nothing concerning no interstate compact, that ain't no transfer. I came back to Louisiana and I don't know. I could find out though. I can find out. I can ask my warden or anything. They know exactly who I'm talking about.
All right, keep on going.
So I was, all right, I was gave another parole officer, which was Miss Danielle. You know Miss Danielle last name? Y'all know her? Which was Miss Danielle. Miss Danielle, I don't have anything bad to say about her, but she stated that she was supposed to pick up where Miss Chantel left off at. Me and my wife explained to her, and not only, I'm not just talking, I have the proof in my phones when we texting back and forth with Miss Chantel and Miss Danielle. I have the proof in my property, in my phones. Miss Danielle was supposed to pick up where Miss Chantel left off at. She never did. We even offered some more money for another interstate compact. She told us no, she was not gonna let us go through that because we paid already. She did not swap it over or nothing. A year later, she put a warrant out for me. And I also told her that the address in Louisiana, it was not permanent. My family, like I told you, I'm married. I got a family. I got my own family in Little Rock, Arkansas. My family in Louisiana did not want me there. They did not want me there. And the reason why they allowed me to stay there is because it was for a certain amount of time. And they thought that they were gonna do the interstate compact. They never did it.
Well, let me go ahead and read the next one because it goes into exactly what you're talking about right now, okay?
Yes,
All right, so the first one, I've got a not guilty plea. Second one is violation of rule number 3. You changed your address without the permission of the parole officer. You also failed to remain within the state of Louisiana as you were recently arrested in Arkansas. A warrant was issued on 6/4 2025, and your extradition cost to bring you back was $491.55, by the way. So how do you plead to that one?
I plead guilty to that one.
So you plead guilty to the fact that you changed your address without permission from the parole officer? 'Cause that's
My parole officer knew and then I done a Zoom, a video chat with Miss Danielle stating that I was in Jefferson Parish, which is Gretna, Louisiana, where I'm from.
all right, so Danielle, is she in Arkansas or is she in Louisiana?
She in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
did a Zoom with Miss Danielle
Yes, ma'am.
in Jefferson Parish at that time?
In Jefferson Parish, because she told me not to leave. When I stated to her about I couldn't stay in Appaloosa no more, she told me do not leave Louisiana.
So you changed from Opelousas to Jefferson Parish.
Yes, ma'am.
And then from Jefferson Parish, you ended up in Arkansas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so in Jefferson Parish, you're saying that you reported to the officer by way of Zoom?
Yeah, I had a video chat with Miss Danielle showing her where I was, which is Gretna, Louisiana.
And Opelousas, and she's apparently knew he was in. I understand.
Okay. All right, does anyone else have any questions, please?
So when you came back to Louisiana and you realized you didn't have permission to be in Arkansas.
Yes, ma'am.
And you went to Gretna, then why did you decide to go back to Arkansas?
Because of my family. They didn't really want me that. I didn't have anywhere to go. Like my family, and I don't blame them because the going, the jail, and from my past criminal history, I don't blame them for not wanting me there. But I can't make nobody make me stay. I can't make them. You get where I'm at?
So you're married now.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Like she's on the line. I'd like to hear from your wife. Now, there are a lot of things people call people. Is this your legal wife or is this a girlfriend or?
No, ma'am, this is my legal wife. She got the marriage license and everything that she can show to you. Yes, ma'am, she does.
All right, let's listen to her, okay? Ma'am, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you please share what you think we need to know about this situation?
Yes, ma'am. Like my husband just said, we did pay Miss Chantel $250. They supposed to been doing the in-state compact. They never sent the in-state compact to Little Rock. And like he said, his family didn't want him down there. We got married in 2021. And ever since then, when I first met him and stuff, I started coming down there to Louisiana, and I knew this situation that he said he was on parole and this is that. And I said, well, we can do an in-state compact for this situation so it won't be no problem. But like he said, Miss Danielle was his other one after Miss Chantel. For whatever reason she lost her job, I don't know. But Miss Danielle was his next parole officer. She said that she was going to do the in-state compact, that I didn't have to pay for another. She would see to it getting sent to Little Rock. But she never done the paperwork.
Okay, let me ask something. Do you live in Little Rock? That's your home? That's your home?
Yes, ma'am.
So there won't be a concern with him getting an interstate compact once it is handled appropriately. Okay.
What's the address? What's the address over there?
801 Running Pound Road, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Spell that, bro. Spell that.
RONDEYPARHAM, Running Pound Road. Apartment 2B. Little Rock, Arkansas 72205.
And what's your name?
Tina Wilson. My first name is spelled TENIA.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Right. Mr. Wilson,
Yes, ma'am.
I think we're all very unclear, but very sure of what we understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Stapleton?
Yes, sir. What I'm going to vote for today is the interstate compact and then transitional work program for 6 months. So, because you do have extradition fees,
yeah,
$491.55. So that's going to be my vote today.
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months. You can. That'll give you time to get a little money, get your ICOT settled, and pay back the extradition. I get
Social Security.
Are you on disability?
Yes, ma'am.
So they're not going to allow you to do?
No, ma'am.
Anything.
Oh.
But whatever I owe, I promise we'll get it to you. My wife will get it to y'all.
Okay.
Tina, are you still listening? Are you disconnected?
No, they closed. So we're going to go into an executive session, if you don't mind, for just a moment.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
These people.
Right, Mr. Wilson, we have returned from executive session. And so we're going to revise our vote. Mr. Barra is going to vote first.
All right, I'm gonna recommend you for the Don Francois program, which you'll be able to get into with disability. And that you pay the cost of restitution. And that you complete extradition, I mean. And that you follow through with your interstate compact. And like they told you, you gotta stay in Louisiana till you accept it. So you need to start working on that while you're at the Don Francois Center. When you first get there, tell them you need to file your interstate compact and then get that ball rolling so that it can all be worked through and accepted. And then I'll waive that $150 you already paid for the compact fee. I'm gonna waive the compact fee for this round. And that you're gonna be going to 801 Parham Road, apartment 2B, to live with Tina Wilson.
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Stapleton.
I concur with Mr. Barra.
My vote is also to confine you for 90 days at Don Francois while you work out the paperwork and logistics. You'll get a little bit of substance abuse counseling before you hit the street again. Won't hurt you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And Louis,
What kind of program, I mean, where is located?
Party.
it's up in the northern part of the state.
Okay, okay.
It'll be easier for your wife to get there to
Yes,
visit. And but it's a substance abuse program. Take about 90 days.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. When
All
will
right.
it start?
Hi, the Louisiana Committee on Parole is impaneled at headquarters in Baton Rouge. Serving on the panel today, on my left is Carolyn Stapleton, to my right, Danny Barra. I'm Jerry Ledoux. We have before us, we're at WINN Parish Detention Center. Would you introduce yourself and give us your name and your DOC number?
Jared BUMBALOUGH, 429710.
Okay. Jared, you're at WINN Parish Detention Center.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anyone in the room with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, sir, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So, according to our record, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. And you do not have, although a retained counsel was noted, he is not attending today's hearing. So are you prepared to continue with this hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to ask Mr. Barra to read the allegations against you. You're going to enter a plea of guilty or guilty with a statement or not guilty. And I also want to recognize that your father and your brother are both in attendance today, and they will both speak. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Mr. Barra.
Mr. BUMBALOUGH, it's alleged that you have violated the conditions of your parole on May 17th, 2026, when you were arrested by the Winfield City Police Department for the criminal offense of aggravated assault. On May 7, 2026, you pled guilty to aggravated assault and was sentenced to serve 6 months parish jail, 2 years unsupervised probation. How do you plead to that violation?
Yes, sir, that was the outcome.
Be guilty?
Yes, sir.
All right, then number 5, it says on May 17th, based on the same arrest, you were in possession of a weapon, a knife. How do you plead to that violation?
Yes, sir, guilty. Can I make a statement real quick on that though?
Well, I'm gonna let you, I have one more and then we'll let you make a statement on all of them.
Okay.
And number 10 says that you were $459 in arrears on your supervision fees and have not made a payment since February of 2026. How do you plead to that violation?
Not guilty. I believe it was 300 and something.
So you have made payments since February 25th?
No, sir, I was incarcerated on May the 15th, I believe it was, and it was like 300 and something dollars behind. I'm not sure where the 400 came from.
Probably from they added the months that you've been in jail. Okay. So go ahead and you said you want to have a statement and explain some of this. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. On the pocket knife, my parole officer, Mr. Clark, I asked him, was it okay? And he said it was not, as long as it was not over 4 inches, that I was allowed to have it.
I think that 4 inches might be a total length.
I'm not sure. It's just a standard knife that was in my glove box, but
Okay. No problem with that. I mean, it's a knife. A knife's a knife, 2 inches, 4 inches. I mean, anything else you want to say about that arrest and conviction?
no, sir.
All right.
Other than my attorney, my court-appointed attorney did advise me that he did not think it would affect my parole because it was a misdemeanor.
That was some bad advice. You can be misdemeanor. It's
Yes, sir.
all day long. That's criminal. It's considered criminal behavior. It doesn't matter felony or misdemeanor. It's the criminal behavior that we look at.
Yes, sir.
Threatening someone with a knife, that's criminal behavior. So yes. Does anybody else, panel have any questions to ask? We want to go to hear from the father?
Hear from both of them.
Let's hear from Mr. Jim Bumbalough, father of the offender.
I think it's muted.
Yes.
We hear you.
Do what?
We hear you.
They're
Go ahead
talking
and tell us what you wanted to let us know about Jared.
Well, there's a lot of things. Y'all ain't got time for me to tell you what I think.
Well, can you summarize it into less than 3 minutes or 3 minutes or less?
Well, he was arrested for assault with a deadly weapon, and it was a pocket knife in his glove box. I don't know how that's assault. I don't understand that part. And he was called over to where all this happened anyway by another person, same person who filed a complaint, original. There's a lot about this I don't understand. It's not making sense to me. But Jared's never been in violation. He never failed a drug test. The only thing is he's behind on his payment. He's made all of his meetings except for the ones he missed not paying. And there's just a lot of other circumstances. Like I said, I could talk for a couple hours about it. I just appreciate y'all letting me talk about it a minute.
What is your recommendation? Do you have any recommendation?
I would recommend that he be placed on probation like the judge ordered and released. His attorney, like he said, was bad advice, but it was his attorney's advice to plead guilty, and he would be put on probation and 10 days with time served, and then he'd be released. That was his understanding, or that's my understanding of what he understood.
That was for the pending charge. That didn't have nothing to do with the parole. The 10 days of release, that's all to do with the pending charge, the misdemeanor, the knife charge. The judge had no authority over his parole case. That's where we come in.
Sanders?
But
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. I don't understand why his parole would be revoked because he committed a crime that was
Yeah, but he
he wasn't committed. He wasn't. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no problem.
It's okay. I just wanted you to understand that any crime or violation of conditions could cause him to be revoked. So, but that's what we're here to do today, is to talk about it. So I understand it's difficult information.
I don't understand about the it being a misdemeanor and you know, it causing his parole to be revoked. But there's a lot of inmates and parolees commit what would be considered violations, but they're all misdemeanor and they're very seldom revoked that I'm aware of. Now I don't know y'all's business.
Does he live with you, sir? Does Jared live with you?
Ma'am?
Does Jared live with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so he has a house of his own?
Yes, ma'am. And he has a wife that is disabled.
Okay.
And she needs his support. She's diabetic and partial amputee on her foot and has no way to go or anyway. So, you know, it's just a hardship on his family for revoking his parole. Like I said, for it being a misdemeanor. That's the point that's got me confused.
Has he ever gotten angry with you or her, that y'all were fearful of him? That he suddenly got angry and you just didn't understand what was going on? Have you ever seen that in him?
No, I don't know about with her, but not with me. I don't live with him, so I don't know.
But it hasn't happened with you either?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we can now listen to Mr. Poole, Michael Poole.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You can go ahead.
Okay, yes, I sent a victim statement. I don't know if y'all have that in front of you.
Yep.
Okay, what I said in there was, you know, pretty much feel, think what happened was unfortunate and it's not something that regularly occurs between us. We've always been tight brothers and it just kind of got out of control, I believe. And Jared's not really a violent person. And it's just after our mother's death, she just recently died. I mean, it's been a couple years, but we're going through some property stuff through a succession. And Jared's been out on the property and unfortunately he's on SSI and he's having trouble with money and bills. My mother was his kind of caretaker, him and his girlfriend, or wife, or whatever she is. I believe it's his girlfriend. And after she passed away, I think he's been struggling a lot. Their water has been cut off, and it's been off for almost half a year, almost 6 months. I don't honestly know how they're surviving. And it's just they're living in really tight, harsh conditions, and for whatever reason, me and him just butt heads. We always kind of have like brothers, and this time it just got out of control, too much out of control. And I don't think more jail time is going to solve anything for him. He was on medication, and I talked to him a while back. He said he was not on it. I think if he could get back on his medication and seek some kind of counseling and get some help, real help. And I've seen the help at DLC, and I'm sorry to say I don't think that's the kind of help he needs. I don't think it's thorough. I think he needs some different kind of help. And I just honestly don't believe more jail time is going to do anything good. It could probably make things worse. Some people, unfortunately, I don't see it as something that's rehabilitating in my eyes. It's, it's punishment, to be honest with you. And when people come out, a lot of times they're worse off. And he's worse off than he is today. I don't know where that leads, And, sorry.
That's okay. It's a sad situation because really even out there, like you said, he was on medication. He's not on it now. So, sometimes it's a money situation. Like you said, he's very poor and people can't even afford their medication these days a lot of times. So to go and get counseling, I'm sure he's on Medicaid or something like that, but he hasn't been able to do it clearly. Something's happened there, a disconnect. I don't know if he just couldn't make the counseling sessions or go to the doctor visits. You do have to keep that up. And then you have to be able to afford medicine. We don't know what's going on with something like that. So it is a very difficult situation. It sounds like you love your brother very much and you just want him to get help. And I understand that. And I can understand how emotional that is for you and stuff too.
Yes. And, I don't know, but, the future hopes for us, but I wish there was some way we could resolve this without fighting our property and, what our mother left behind without this kind of conflict. I don't know if there's anything that can be done for both of us or, some kind of therapy or something. But we just don't know how to communicate either. I don't know what that stems from. It seems to have gotten worse after our mother passed. She kind of, held us all together. But, I think that's like my statement really reflects all that.
Yeah, it does.
That's how I feel. So thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Poole. Okay, Jared,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a few questions. You're on Social Security disability, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do they typically pay for mental health?
I'm not sure they do. I have Medicaid
Okay, so you can get that
for the
taken.
doctor. I don't know if it pays for that specifically, but I can go to like a doctor's stuff.
So how long have you been without treatment?
I don't believe I've had medication since I was like 9 years old. I don't know.
So you haven't had any mental health intervention in a long time?
No, last that I remember, I hadn't taken medicine since I was like 9 years old.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Well, Medicaid, is very good as far as like, you might have Medicare, Medicaid, and if you do, the two together, they do pay for psychiatric help, and they pretty much cover the medicine. But Jared, this is something you're going to have to reach out for and do yourself to begin with. And then once you get on medicine, then it'll clear up some things in your brain, because if you need this medicine, it's just, you know, your brain is not working correctly, but you are going to have to pursue this for yourself to get help.
Do you think you have some problems resolving anger, dealing with relationships? Are you having problems with that?
No, ma'am, not really. I don't consider myself an angry person.
Are you having depression?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that I think we're prepared to vote. Just yeah, an afternoon.
All right. Hearing the whole case, and I agree that probably straight jail time is not necessarily the best answer in this case. So in lieu of revocation, I'm going to order you to go to a mental health evaluation and follow all recommendations for treatment at Hunt Correctional Center, and that you can be released when it's determined that by the doctors that you're stable.
I'm stable.
That can be determined by the doctor.
Yeah, I had a doctor. I went to treatment classes here a while back as a order of my parole. I think it was.
That ought to speed things along. You already started it then. Sounds like you're already on the way there.
Okay, so
I don't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you don't want that, I can revoke you. You know, you got a choice. I'll let you make the decision.
That's y'all's decision.
Sure.
okay. There is evidence that you've had misdemeanor criminal conduct while on supervision. And so my vote is to concur with Mr. Barra to go to Hunt Correctional for a mental health evaluation and stabilization, and then you will go home with follow-up care that they direct. It's,
I agree with Mr. Barra and Ms. Ledoux, and for your own sake, if if you do have to take medicine, please take your medicine. If you took it at 9 years old, there must have been a problem back then. So,
the reason I was taken off of my medications is because it was not doing any good.
Well, so good. So you can go there and they're going to reevaluate you. And then the object is stabilization so that this won't happen again. Okay.
Okay.
okay, so a unanimous decision. You're in lieu of revocation, you'll be going to Elaine Hunt for a short period of time for evaluation and treatment. That is all the business that we have before the panel today. And the time is now 10:41 and we're concluding our hearings. Thank you.